try again. Folks, I'm smiling. I'm smiling. And the reason why I'm smiling is because I'm sitting here wondering who has more of the patience of Job this morning? You or me? I don't know, but I want to say thank you very much for being so patient and hanging in there despite the circumstances. Let me make it clear right off the bat, this had nothing to do with Facebook. It had nothing to do with my service provider, Digicel. This was a software program, okay? A software program, that's what it was. And so we are now 1 hour and 44 minutes behind time. But better late than never. And once again, thank you for holding on. Now, the delay this morning has resulted in us not having Mr. B with us, Alan. First of all, Alan had asked me to let him on a little bit earlier. We usually get him on here a little after 9:30. But he had an appointment this morning, so he asked if we could get him on at 9:15. So I decided, okay, we'll run the GIS report and put Alan on right after that, which would have him on at about 9:15. Well, for whatever reason, we were not even able to link up with Alan this morning, let alone get on here this morning to Facebook. And like I said, it had nothing to do with Facebook. You got to be fair, got to be honest, okay? This was a localized problem. So, I think we have it resolved, and I hope you're hearing me just fine. I haven't seen any comments out there on Facebook right now, and I wouldn't at all be surprised if there aren't any. Maybe some stragglers. I say that with all due respect and love. But been quite the morning. Anyhow, so what we're going to do this morning, and this is going to be, I've been threatening you with abbreviated programs for some time now. And as you know, some of those so-called abbreviated programs have gone well beyond our time limit. This morning, I think this morning we're going to have an abbreviated program. There's Carla. Carla says, good morning, Uncle George again, and all, listening in. Well, thank you, Carla, for joining us, hanging in there. Appreciate it. So yeah, there are only 2 items on the agenda this morning as a result of our little hiccups. The first one, we'll run the national report for you, first of all. And then right after that, we're going to run for you a piece which I pulled out from yesterday's sitting of the Senate. Senate President Chester Humphrey took on sexual child abuse yesterday in the Senate. In local parlance, he bung away. Yeah? Good for you, Jess. Good for you. So I think that's what we're going to close with this morning. It's about 15 minutes long. You know, when Jess gets on a roll, he gets on a roll. But first of all, let's check out yesterday's edition of the National Report.
Government secures part of Clico building to house 2 civil courts. Details to this story and more in the National Report. the details to the news for Wednesday, April 24th, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. Government has secured the second floor of the CLICO building on Yonge Street to house 2 civil courts, and refurbishment work is now underway. Attorney General Darshan Ramdani announced earlier this year that the CLICO building on Yonge Street will be leased to house 4 courts, judges' chambers and administrative offices. Adequate facilities for the country's courts have been an issue for some time, and government has explored several options to resolve the matter. During the weekly post-cabinet briefing on Wednesday, Legal Affairs Minister, the Honourable Kendra Mathurin-Stewart, said the 3rd floor is currently occupied by CLICO workers but will be available next week so that repairs can begin. The 3rd floor will house 2 criminal courts.
Government is currently in possession of the 2nd floor of the CLICO building, and that work has commenced effecting the necessary repairs and retrofitting of that particular space. As a matter of fact, the 2nd floor is completely gutted and repaired, and arrangements are ongoing to retrofit same. The contractor contracted to do the work has been working and will be working around the clock to ensure that the space and the court is delivered in the quickest possible time. The 2nd floor of the CLICO building will house the 2 civil courts and the court reporting unit, and the 3rd floor will house the 2 criminal courts for now.
The Legal Affairs Minister explained that the CLICO building is an interim solution as government works towards the establishment of its legal complex, which will house the justice system.
Government remains committed to ensuring that our justice system remains fully functional and intact, and that the proper administration of justice is not compromised in any way. The use of the CLICO building to house our court, as indicated before, is an interim medium-term measure while we continue to work towards realizing our dream and our goal, and that is to have our halls of justice or legal complex. Cabinet, as you know, appointed a subcommittee a little while now to pursue this project. The committee continues to meet on a regular basis, and so far we have reviewed some of the existing proposals. We have looked at also new ones, some of the drawings, the designs, and of course possible locations for our halls of justice.
2 courts will be added to deal with the backlog of cases. It is the hope of the minister that in the not-too-distant future, there will be 6 courts operating in Grenada. Finding a new home for the courts demonstrates government's commitment to good governance and the administration of justice. Government has promised to continue forging ahead to ensure that the T.A. Marisho Community College becomes a premier tertiary institution in the Caribbean. That commitment from Minister with Responsibility for Information, Senator Winston Garraway. He says government is seeking new sources of funding to upgrade the institution following the withdrawal of the Petna Foundation. In October 2016, an MOU was signed between government, TAMCC, the Petna Foundation and McMaster University to build capacity, thereby making TAMCC a self-sustaining institution. Under the MOU, which has a lifespan of 5 years, Petna pledged $1 million to ensure faculty development. But on March 29th, Petna wrote a letter withdrawing from the Memorandum of Understanding, citing Grenada's inability to attract the desired candidate for the post of president of TAMCC. Senator Garraway says government will seek new partners to ensure development of the institution becomes a reality.
The MOU, Petna would have indicated that they're withdrawing from the MOU. We have lost the preferred candidate, but we still have TAMCC, and we still have a TAMCC to build. And government will continue to look for partners out there to partner with us for the restructuring and development of TAMCC. That is our commitment to this people, the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Peter Martinique. It's a commitment to our students, and we will not rest until we are able to satisfy this pledge that we have made to them.
The partnership has also lost the candidate for president of TAMCC. Senator Garraway says a letter of resignation was received from Canadian Judelyn Innocent, who received what she would have considered more lucrative offers.
It has been government's commitment towards the upgrade of TAMCC because we know the value of TAMCC and the students who pass through this institution. The development of our students is the development of Grenada, and this has been our constant drive. And although we were not able to attract that candidate to fulfill what she was asking for, we did not give up. We continue to still fight.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
The eyes of the world are on us more than ever. So let's take it to them. Saturday, May 4th, the Spice Mass Corporation launches Spice Mass 2019. The Caribbean's biggest summer festival. This year's launch starts with a roadshow from Ariza Copper to the National Stadium from 3 p.m. Bring out your last year's costume and join the parade. It's one big experience with a display of fancy man, traditional man, Moko Jumbi, and the most envied Jab Jab. The official opening is at the National Stadium, featuring your favorite soca artists and DJs, Calypso Monarch, Steel Pan Champion, and presentations of the 2019 Carnival Queen contestants, plus displays of 2019 costumes, SMC show tickets, and other attractions to be won. Saturday, May 4th, the National Stadium, the launch of Spice Mass 2019. Bring out the entire family. Log on to spicemassgrenada.com for more.
Continuing the news, Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Dr. The Right Honourable Keith Mitchell, says it is no accident or stroke of luck that Grenada has been named Best Paying Island by the University of the West Indies, UWI. According to Dr. Mitchell, the recognition by UWI is indicative of a wider government commitment to honour its financial obligations locally, regionally and internationally. He said, and I quote, "This government maintains an unwavering commitment to prudent fiscal management. A key element of that commitment is keeping our financial obligations current. The immediate benefits of that are that government maintains good standing with organizations with which it has financial dealings, and we avoid additional fees which could be incurred because of late payments," unquote. The Prime Minister praised the Ministry of Finance for astute management of the country's financial resources. Dr. Mitchell further stated that paying UWI consistently and on time means they're also cognizant of enabling citizens to attain tertiary level education. He says a commitment to improving education equates a commitment to the empowerment of individuals and to overall development of Grenada, Carriacou and PT Martinique. NYPD's finest soccer team will embark on a goodwill humanitarian tour of Grenada from April 30th to May 5th. The team, sponsored by Promo Caribbean and New York Red Bulls, will visit 4 educational institutions as well as the Grand Bacolet Juvenile Rehabilitation Center. They will also be engaged in 2 friendly soccer games, one against the President's 11 at Victoria Park on May 2nd, and the highlight of the tour, a matchup with the RGPF's finest at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium on May 3rd. Retired NYPD officer Larry Roberts, who was a guest on the GIS Spice Morning program, spent 24 years with the city of New York. He's here ahead of the rest of the team.
The team is going to be arriving on next Tuesday, and there's a lot of excitement. I'm happy to be here this time, and I know the guys will be pretty excited about the whole trip, and we can't wait. It's been in planning for quite some time, and to see us pretty much close to this date is really, really good. And I just can't wait and want the people to understand that, hey, we really want to have a successful tour, successful mission, and come here and do good for Grenada and give back to the kids.
On the local front, the RGPF's soccer team is going through intense training, and coach, former national player Corporal Ron Joseph, says they will be ready for the encounter.
We are in preparation mode right now. Preparation has been going fine. The players has been turning out to training, and I must say on the 3rd of May, we'll be ready for the NYPD team.
Corporal Joseph says the RGPF's finest will be a combination of 2 active teams within the force.
The composition of the team is over 40 players and some of the RGPF present GFA team. So that's what we're going into the game with.
And I know that the NYPD, they've been training just as hard. Do you think that with your over 40 and your GFA squad that you will have the right combination?
Yes, we will have the right combination. We're going into camp on Monday, so we have all the players together and we can put the team in motion for the game on the 3rd of May.
So patrons can expect a very good showing from the RGPS?
I must say you'll see quality football on that day. I can tell you the guys are in high spirits and we are ready to go. And I must say, gentlemen, the Commissioner of Police will be playing as well. So come out and see him in his glory.
What position will he be playing?
He will play on the left side, I can tell you now.
The NYPD's finest will also hand over a number of sporting equipment to various schools and clubs on the island as part of its Goodwill humanitarian tour. And that's the National Report. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.
There you have it, folks. Yesterday's edition of the National Report from the GIS. And once again, thank you for your patience and understanding the little hiccup we had earlier on this morning. See, just a couple of people there on Facebook this morning, but that's understandable. I really do. Margaret and Carla, thank you guys for hanging in there. Right now, we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, Yama, Senator Chester Humphrey.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try their sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Boy, yo, they gonna fly with kite now. The wind picking up. I'm coming. Karim, what you doing? Fly my kite. Yeah, but not here. You can't fly kite near power lines, boy. Why not? The wind good. Because mommy say kite threads conduct electricity. Yeah, kite. He's right.
Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com.
They gonna fly them in the pasture. Yeah, that makes sense. Kite threads conduct electricity. Do not fly kites near overhead power lines. This can lead to electric shocks and power outages. If your kite gets stuck in power lines, do not try to retrieve it. Release it and call GRENADA. Always fly kites in open areas. Keep your kites far away from roads. And remember, always clean up after yourself.
GRENADA, energizing our Grenada.
I'm always on the move. Training, traveling, competing. So it's good to know I have Co-op Bank in the palm of my hand.
Introducing e-banking, one of many customer convenience services from Grenada Cooperative Bank. And there's more to come.
It's swift, simple, and secure.
Welcome home.
All right, folks, all right. We're here. I neglected a couple of comments on the box a little while ago. Margaret was looking at that newscast a little while ago, and her comment was, when did D assume a sound? Second. That's a nasty habit we have, eh? When we speak, we say second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Yeah. Donna responded to Margaret by saying, "This is how senators speak. Example, government is pronounced government, even by our highly educated Prime Minister." Yeah. Did you see, who was it, boy? I think it was last night or night before. Yeah, Garaway, Canada. That one drives me crazy. Margaret says here, "Yep, sounds like something out of the 12th century." Ryan, good morning. Good to see you. Thanks for hanging in there. And Carl is also there as well. Folks, now, I know this one's, Ryan says, "Donna, government, even by a highly educated PM, sounds puffed up." Okay. Folks, it's probably going to agitate some of you to hear me say this, but I got to be honest. Can't lie to you. You know, say what you want about Senate President Chester Humphrey. When he speaks in Parliament, I listen. He has been pretty consistent in grabbing the adjournment of Senate sittings to get things off his chest. You know, apart from the regular routine of the sitting of the Senate. Yesterday was no exception, my friends. I want you to feel his passion as he took on the recent abuse of a 5-year-old youngster. Senator Humphrey.
First of all, it is an understatement to say that we are not experiencing an epidemic of sexual crimes in this country. I turned age 67 on Saturday the 13th of April. And never ever in my 67 years, and let me tell you something, senators, my life experience is equivalent to 3 lifetimes or more. I have never witnessed anything equal to what's happening here now. Parliament has a responsibility to the citizens and to the Constitution. The role of Parliament is to pass laws for the good governance, for the safety and well-being of its citizens. When that 8-year-old was murdered, oh boy, that had play. I mean, there was, and rightly so. And then the entire community, including parliamentarians, took a hibernation until the most recent incident. And let me tell you, there is no discrimination in this, you know. A 5-year-old child. Where is the mass indignation? Where are the hundreds of mothers picketing? Where are parliamentarians? Senator Steele, you made a point. Because, and let me be cautious here, because this is not an attack on the judiciary. I'm still investigating this matter as to whether or not there were objective limitations to fit the offense in respect of the punishment. The pendulum has swung too far in favor of the criminals. There is more sympathy for the criminal in our society today. An individual was just released from an American prison. He was caught in their system with cocaine. And I was shocked to hear the news this week that the person arrived in Trinidad for some cultural activity, and the police, on the basis of probable cause, executed a search warrant. What worries me is that that individual is being peddled as a hero. And the police commissioner now issues an apology for the police executing its function on the principle of probable cause. What is happening to Caribbean civilization? And I can guarantee you that we'll go through another cycle of hibernation until, and it will happen, you know, a 2-year-old is assaulted. I have been investigating this matter to find out whether or not the judicial officer who heard that case, whether or not that individual was constrained in any way by existing legislation. From the young 8-year-old to now, why have we not done, I mean, I understand this talk and we consulting, but from the murder of the 8-year-old to now, and to my learned attorneys, justice has not been served. Could you all please take a pro bono case and sue the individual? Where are the women's organizations as arms of the political parties in this matter? Where's the protest? And I am really disturbed. And I am really, really, really profoundly disturbed by what's unfolding here. A 5-year-old. And the problem is not counselors, you know. It's not an insufficiency of counselors and so on. The problem is more complex than this. We have enabling institutions at work in this country that enable this kind of behavior. The state spends, I don't know what the last spend is. It's a pity Senator Cox is not here. But we take state funds and give it to something called a mass band that violates all our public decency laws. And we award them band of the year with taxpayers' money to be indecent. We are allowed to be played on our radio. All our radio stations are licensed. There are no decency legislation enforced or any body enforced. You can go to the most primary and infant sport activity, and it takes place right in my neighborhood. Every sporting activity now is a festival of vulgarity. Listen to the music. listen to the music. And again, Senator Cox isn't here, so I don't know if you are familiar with Lego Beast period. Well, Senator Steele would be here, because you know in the dry season in Caracou, Lego Beast period means all animals are untethered because of the dryness of the place. But listen to the lyrics. Listen to the lyrics, and I don't want to focus on any particular genre of music, but listen to the lyrics. They promote the sexual objectivization of women. The lyrics are essentially an instruct in sexual anatomy, and it's played openly. My very good friend is, I have an announcer who's a very good friend of mine. She's on the radio station, on one of the radio stations every morning. I can call her name, Miss Brenda Batiste. And she rails against the rising sexual crime. And maybe it is because I listen to that station most. But one of the primary offenders in the promotion and playing of lyrics that objectify women sexually and prepare young men to see women for only one thing is that radio station. And I was shocked one day listening to the station, and the song which followed immediately, her program was finished. Now, I can't say she was the person who was spinning the music, but the point I'm making is this. You can walk into any public place, any shop, and the producers of alcohol are the ones who target, because they say sex sells. All right? You look at the television, there's no, in America there's ratings. Here this is far, you hear 13 plus, 17, 14-year-olds. There is no rating here. None. The most adult content are played when children are home unsupervised after school. I have tired complaint about the level of this activity. So there is little wonder that we have this explosion of sexual crime because people are conditioned. And I'm saying you can go to the younger, they have kindergarten sports. And when you hear the music that adults play in a kindergarten sporting activity, you're shocked. Well, I don't know if people can be shocked anymore because they have become desensitized. So, Senator Roberts, I want to commend the Women's Caucus. The last meeting that I attended, which we held, it's a matter that I raised. You would know that the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, Grenada branch, which met recently, took certain decisions, and I'm happy to see that it's being executed, in that the sexual offenses, the sexual harassment bill will not be taken through all its stages, and we are trying to move more and more in that direction, where bills are read for the first time, the public is alerted, and where Parliament can reach people to be engaged. And as I indicated before at that meeting, the union which I led has been in the forefront of fighting against sexual harassment at the workplace. We picketed a particular workplace. We fought fiercely for the women who were abused. The union was successful in getting them restored to their jobs and be compensated because they were terminated simply because they complained about sexual harassment. So that this bill, I feel justly proud, is as a result of the work of the Technical and Allied Workers Union. And this is an opportunity now for the union to discuss, because what we want to do is to have some joint public sessions on the bill. Yes, the bill will be circulated to all all sectors of the society, right? Including trade unions, other NGOs, organizations that deal with the women question and so on. And this is an important development, right? So, Senator, thanks for informing us what the Women's Parliamentary Caucus is going to do, and we look forward to a very active thing. I appeal, Senator Steele, the time has come when state funds, in other words, there must be a demerit point system. The more vulgar your carnival ban, the less the demerit points come out. So what we don't reward people for public vulgarity, and that's essentially what we do. And then we're shocked when a 5-year-old becomes the object of sexual assault. Right? When we indirectly contribute by our failure as parliamentarians, because we have to take this responsibility. We have not been amending the laws. We have not been sending the proper signals to the judiciary, which in my mind has been too lenient when it comes to punishment for sexual crimes. And something has got to be done, and done with haste. Let us not wait for the next glaring assault to occur before things are put in place. Law is always a progression, you know. So you can pass the bills now, later you strengthen it. But how does a 40-something-year-old man take advantage of a 5-year-old and walks away without a custodial sentence or without a flogging? I am just dumbfounded by this whole situation. And quite frankly, I'm kind of tired of the talk. Because there are real victims outside there. There are real victims outside there. Honorable members.
Well, there you go. Now, at least, you can't blame me for being honest with you. I told you that I knew this was going to ruffle a few feathers. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. There are some people who just don't want to hear the name Chester Humphrey. As far as I know, he doesn't even want to hear the name George Grant. But George will always come out in defense of anybody who is willing to take a stance like he did yesterday in the case of this 5-year-old child. The man said some things that he wanted to get off his chest. Made sense to me. I'm glad that he did. I salute you, Chess. Boom, Chess, as they affectionately call him. Now, let me tell you what I mean about the reaction I expected. First of all, Ryan says, yes, Chester, I too dislike overt and covert misogyny in Grenada and the world over. Donna Joseph says, Chester, since when did you learn the word decency and vulgar? Because you are one of the most vulgar persons, and vulgarity isn't only in the way one may dress, but how he speaks, the tone of his voice, and how he may use his words. I told you so. Carla says, hold on. Donna also said, Mr. Humphrey, since when did you learn the word decency? He's one of the most vulgar. Hey, you reposted that, Donna, please. Carla says, she replied that people are keyboard advocates. Yes, we have a right to protect the child. But didn't the government say when #Ariel was murdered, they were going to change the law? Unless their children are affected, then we will make sure no stones are left unturned, for sure. How about treating every national with respect and dignity? Please, do the decent thing and make sure our vulnerable children and older folks are protected. Stop laughing at the laws of our land. Boy, Donna really has it in for Chess. Donna says, Chester Humphrey, stop lying. Mr. Myrie wasn't caught with any drugs in his possession, So shut your mouth, because you were also fingered in an illegal act too, by the same U.S. laws. Ryan mops his brow and says, "Sadly, Chester, this is the eternal paradox of society." Yeah, Ryan. Yeah. And by the way, happy birthday, Chess. Okay, I think that's going to do it. Is there anything I'm missing here? No, I think that's going to do it. Okie dokie. Let me take a little break here. We'll come back.
Start the stride to a healthy lifestyle at the 2019 annual Pump It Up Family Fun Walk. There'll be more fun, more smiles, and more prizes for families and friends. Join us in Carriacou on April 7th at 4 p.m. as we walk from the Harveyvale playing field to the Hillsborough tennis courts, and in Grenada on April 28th at 4 p.m. from the Montrouge playing field to the National Cricket Stadium. Packages cost $20 per person for up to 2 individuals and $15 per person for groups of 3 or more. Come out in your numbers to help us raise funds towards re-establishing the Carlton Home.
Welcome home.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try the sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
My name is Jennifer James, and I've been making confectionaries for the past 7 years. Growing up as a little girl, I always wanted to make these little things. Fudge, sugar cake, tamarind ball, these little things. I read something actually, and it said that tamarind itself is very good because it eliminates fat from the liver. You get the mature tamarind and you crack it, you shell it out. I would add a little baking soda, some spices. I would leave it to rest probably for about 2 hours and then add my sugar and just start kneading. I usually knead it hard enough so that I can roll it. When I finish roll it, I will paste it with the actual white or brown sugar, and you have a nice tamarind ball. I have been providing food fair with tamarind ball about 6 years now. I started producing tamarind ball to sell for the school children. I thought I could advance somewhere. So I went to food fair and I asked one of the sales persons there if they would be interested in selling my tamarind ball. And she told me yes. She told me to bring 20 packets to start with. It was really a joy for me because I wanted to extend on my little business. My name is Jennifer James and I work with the food fair to provide you with tamarind balls.
All right, just before we go here, Ryan says, most enjoyable segment, George. Chester should come on your program. Hi? Well, I'll tell you, he's more than welcome to. Actually, the last time I invited him a few months ago, I think that was towards the end of last year, he declined because I was not able to give him, I had a lot going on the program that morning, and I was not able to give him an hour. So, nah. He wanted more time. Such is life. But, yeah, such is life. And by the way, Charles Norma says, George, chess is not my favorite, but I agree with him 100%. He made me cry. Okay, Charles, you can stop crying now. But, yeah, I understand. And, you know, Charles, I'm glad to see that comment from you because we have to... You know, there are a lot of people crying out about what's going on in the country. okay? And when you go through social media or you listen to the radio and television stations, you sense a lot of venom, a lot of animosity, a lot of hatred, a lot of anger, even on this program. Folks, how much good is that doing? You're pointing fingers at people out there because you're mad, you're hurt. Understandable. I've been hurt too. But the anger that you put out, the anger that you emit, if the tables were turned, do you realize that you could be at the receiving end of that anger? Yeah, man. Yeah. So please, I don't have any issue with people disagreeing on things. But cool the anger. This country does not need anger. You're pointing fingers and bitching about a lot of wrongs in this country. And what are you replacing it with? Your anger? Please, please. Get a life, folks. Get a life. All right? And before Georgie Porgy goes, as always, an inspirational word or two. Today from the book of Zephaniah. Zephaniah chapter 2, verses 1 to 3. Gather together, gather yourselves together, you shameful nation, before the decree takes place, and that day passes like wind-blown chaff, before the Lord's fierce anger comes upon you, before the day of the Lord's wrath comes upon you. Seek the Lord, all you humble of the land, you who do what he commands. Seek righteousness. Seek humility. Perhaps you will be sheltered on the day of the Lord's anger. When I pulled out that scripture last night, I had no idea we'd be talking about what we were just talking about here. But there you go. That's the way the Lord guides. Zephaniah chapter 2, verses 1 to 3. Ryan says, freedom of speech is crucial in a democracy. Yeah, absolutely, Brian. And let me tell you, I challenge anybody to point to many others who have fought as hard as I have since setting foot back in this country 30-something years ago for freedom of speech. Sometimes when I listen to what Justice said a little while ago, I am the person who fought to make a lot of that possible. That's not what I had in mind. I fought for it. I fought. Former Prime Minister Blaise didn't agree with me at first. He said, no, don't give them the freedom. Don't. I fought for it and eventually got it. And sometimes it almost brings me to tears when I sit and listen or sit and watch what we have done with that freedom. Yeah. Hurts big time. Let's see here. Carla says, true, Uncle George, and it's causing high blood pressure, diabetes, cardiac problems from hatred. You recognize that, eh? That anger, folks, be careful. Be careful. It's going to come back to haunt you. Show a little love. Show some of what you're advocating rather than the hatred, the anger. And then don't give me this BS about freedom of speech, my foot. You don't have the freedom to hurt people. Yes, you have the right to defend yourself. I'm with you 100% on that. I will join you. You don't have the right to be malicious. And there's just a little too much of, a lot too much of that nowadays in our society. A lot. Gotta go, folks, gotta go run some errands, but hopefully our software hiccup has been taken care of. I hope so, because later on this afternoon we have another program on our hands at 4 o'clock this afternoon. We've got the youngsters coming in here for this week's edition of Woke. Should be a good one. And in addition to that, guess what? Tonight, the usual suspects will assemble at 8 o'clock for this week's edition of Make We Chat. In the meantime, I'm going to hightail it out of here. Thanking you so much for your patience today. God bless you. See you tomorrow.